Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's Bird Binder video. We're going to have a look at the 12Z model runs for today's final video. So these are videos that we do occasionally through winter when the model output starts getting interesting. Sometimes we have a look in the evening at the 12Z model runs, as the 10 to 14 day video tends to be based on the midnight model runs. And of course we release 10 to 14 day earlier on this afternoon. So I thought we'd go through 12Z and see what we're all showing. I'll get time for that for you in a moment. It's going to be a relatively short video, hoping to keep it under 10 minutes. Just saying that first, the video today is our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and as I say, we've released 10 to 14 day with all operating features as well. Please like, share and subscribe on both of those videos. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, thank you so much. Right, let's turn the webcam off. And let's go through the trials there. The ECM has just finished updating, so that's the last one we'll look at. Have a look at UK Met EUR run first of all, though. So here we go, starting off on Thursday, 14th November. High pressure over and straight to West Country, mostly dry, fine conditions continuing. Well, we head off through to the end week and the weekend, and we start to get a push of cooler air on Saturday coming in from the northwest. So there's going to be a cold front that is just here, introducing the first push of cooler air from the north. But really cold air is up here. So will we tap into that? Let's see what happens through the rest of the UK Met EUR run. So into Sunday, we find the high pressure building through the Atlantic, and an area of low pressure then starts punching through the country. I say it's on the northern and western side of Bislow, but we have got the coldest of the air digging in. That is true Arctic origin air on its way. So Bislow probably bringing outbreaks of rain, but could be some snow on the back edge, especially in northern regions. That low eventually starts moving off into the North Sea. So by the beginning of next week, Monday the 18th of November, we are properly then opening the door to those cold Arctic northerly winds. If that low pressure just goes a little bit further eastwards towards Denmark, then we really start to pull in this bitterly cold air from the north. And it's all associated with a big blocking area of high pressure around Greenland. So I think we can say that for a cold spell, the UK Met is a hit. What about Icon? Let's have a look at that one. So sorry everyone. So again, we've got high pressure over to West Country on Thursday. Lots of dry and fine weather to come then into the weekend. The cold front starts coming southwards on Saturday. That introduces the first push of air from the north. Actually more of a northerly with Icon through the weekend. So that's midday Sunday, and we are in a direct northerly. Then we don't have to wait for that little area of low pressure to push through that the UK Met was showing. We just go straight after cold front into that northerly plunge. So we get to cold quicker, and it happens over the weekend with Icon there. And then into next week, well, that's quite an interesting feature. Plunging southwards within that cold air. That looks like it's the kind of thing that might be bringing some snow southwards with it. Let's have a look. The upper air temperatures on Thursday, the upper air temperatures are still really quite mild with that ridge of high pressure, but the cold air starts to dig in on Saturday. Down comes a -5 Celsius isotherm. And yeah, so looking cold enough to be supporting snow potentially through the early part of next week as that little feature starts coming southwards. So that low just there, little, whether it's polar low, not sure, but that little low there is quite an interesting feature on the Icon run and could be bringing snow southwards with it on those northerly winds. Very blocked setup with that Greenland blocking area of high pressure, you'll notice. Right, moving on to the GFS 12Z. High pressure again over and to West Country on Thursday. Lots of dry and fine weather coming through. In with that into the weekend. Yes, we're pushing a cold front in from the Atlantic on Saturday, bringing outbreaks of rain and going into that northwesterly flow into Sunday, the low pressure then starts shifting through into the northeast. So this is more like what the UK Met is showing, slightly delays going into those northerly winds. However, we are into the northerly, I think, by the time we get through to the beginning of next week. Although, having said that, we've still got this sort of trough type thing messing around, just delaying the coldest of the air, the onset of those north or northeast winds. It's still pretty cold, even though the wind is perhaps slightly westerly down in the south. It is still pretty cold there from the GFS, but as I say, slightly delayed because of the air pushing through. It takes till about Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, to really shift that wind around into a direct northerly, but certainly cold and wintry with the outlook from the weekend throughout much of next week with the GFS 12 there. We get to the end of next week and low pressure is gathering to the southwest here. Mild edge coming in from the southwest, moving into that block of cold air sits across the country. So that's the kind of thing that can cause all sorts of fun and games. Notice the elongation in the isobars there telling us that the milder air is struggling as it pushes up against that wedge of cold air sitting across western parts of Europe. Does it ever actually make it? So eventually we go through the weekend of 21st, 24th of November, the last weekend of November, and the milder air then starts to break through, so we turn milder, wetter and windier through the last week of November with that area of low pressure just there. Nevertheless, quite a significant spell, at least a week of cold and at times potentially wintry weather of GFS 12Z. So I think the three model runs that we've had so far, the UK Met, Icon and GFS, we can all put them in the hit column if you want some cold weather. What about the GEM? Let's have a look at the GEM. And again, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone forward to your Matt. Drop a comment. Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to press about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. We need to put around 20 subscribers, by the way, to get ourselves to 19k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, GM, high pressure over to West Country on Thursday. A lot of dry, fine weather coming in with that. Then into the weekend, maps per change, low pressure deepening in the Norwegian Sea, sending a cold front south across the country. We go into cooler northwesterly winds, taking a while to get into that northerly with the GM, taking longer because we've got this area of low pressure to the west-southwest of Iceland sort of messing around. Eventually, though, everything shifts southwards and we do pull in through next week those properly cold northerly winds, and the GM looks like it's setting up a prolonged cold spell there throughout next week. Winds in from the north, and there would be wintering possibilities. Upper air temperatures with the GEM look like that. So the weekend is when things start to cool down, but the cold air only really gets into Scotland through the weekend, and it's not until next week that we find the cold air then making it down across the country. Around Tuesday when the cold air gets down into the south. So the GEM delays the onset of the cold slightly by a couple of days, but it looks, you know, by day 10, it looks like we're well and truly into an extended spell of cold weather. And then finally, we've got the ECM looking like this. So this is just updated in the last few minutes. High pressure over and to west country on Thursday. Lots of dry, fine conditions with that. Friday, still pretty dry and fine. Low pressure deepens in the Norwegian Sea on Saturday. Cold front starts to move southwards. Then we have this area of low pressure slipping southwards through Sunday. It's still relatively mild on Sunday in the south. Wind still coming in from west-southwest direction. Remember, the coldness of the air is on the northern and western side of that low. Let's go further on and see what the ECM does with that low. So eventually it pushes it through the country from Sunday through to Monday. That's when we start opening the door to those colder northerly winds, and we get through to Tuesday. Oh dear, it looks like the ECM is already seeing the end of that cold weather. So check that out. We've got low pressure deepening So this is a different run from the ECM, and it's a real wobble. This is a real wobble, everyone, from the ECM. So we open the door to those cold northerly winds not until Monday. So sorry, everyone. And then, we are cold on Tuesday, but we got this low just out to the west of the country with mild air associated with it. And, well, that deepens like mad. By Wednesday, the cold spell is all over. It turned wet and windy. There might be some transitional snow involved in that, but basically that's ending the cold spell more or less as soon as it starts. And by day 10, well, that's going back into a cooler push of northwesterly winds then, but all looking very, very, very flimsy, I have to say, from the ECM. So I would put the ECM probably, it does get cold briefly, but I would put the ECM, I think, in the miss column. So as we come to the end of this 12Z model, and by the way, I think the problem with this is that the high pressure goes off to the Canadian side of Greenland there. So that blocking area of high pressure, more or less as quickly as it's developing, is shoving itself over to Canada. And that allows more of an Atlantic influence. I think that's the difference. Although I would have to look more closely, at the individual model run. So as we come to the end of this 12Z model roundup, I would put the UK Met, and I would put Icon, I would put the GFS and the GEM in the hit column. If you want an extended, talking about 5 days or more period of cold weather, I would put the ECM in the mist column. The ECM does turn briefly cold through the, well, it takes until, look, for Scotland it turns cold at the weekend, but it takes until, like, I don't know, the beginning of next week, get the cold down into the south. It gets down for about 24 hours, and then it's pushed away again by that very deep area of low pressure. It does look as though it might be starting to try and go cold again by about day 10, but the ECM looks very, very, very flimsy for cold conditions. So the ECM is a big wobble tonight. The other models don't look too bad at all. Though it remains the case that we need twists and turns. This is all happening in a few days' time, so there is plenty of time for this boat to be downgraded and indeed boat upgraded. It might be that the ECM operation, for example, is a mild outlier, so we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. And the next instalment of a drama, of a soap opera, will be tomorrow. We should keep you updated with all of our videos and content. If you enjoyed this 12Z model roundup, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that, and we'll see you with more tomorrow. But official for now, and thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Monday evening. Bye for now.